so you couldn't get away. 2 did escape, but I knew they were going, so that was all right. It's been suggested to me once or twice in my life that perhaps 1 or 2 of my poems could be a bit shorter. Personally, I don't think that's too much of a good thing, but just to prove that I can do it, the first 2 here are pretty short ones. First one is about a crisis in romance, and it's called High Dudgeon. She slapped my face and walked out and said she'd never come back. She'd never cross the threshold again, so there, and that was that. But she'll return, I have no doubt. Though she said she'd never come back, just as soon as it registers in her brain that tonight we were in her flat. And a little limerick, sort of innuendo, called Bedding in Reading. There was a young couple from Reading who went to John Lewis for bedding. They tried out some beds, and as newlyweds, you can guess where this limerick's going. Right, now then, for episode 2 of our epic serial. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a disaster here because James Broad, who was supposed to be playing in this one, completely lost his voice, so couldn't do it. So the disaster, from your point of view, is that I'm going to stand in for him and do it myself. Second episode, what was that? This episode is called David Meets Angela, and come with me, please welcome Jeanette Hunter. I have to ring the bell myself in this round. Hello, I'm David.
I'm Angela.
So, Angela, do you come to a lot of these things?
Do I look that desperate?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that at all. No, I was just trying to open the conversation.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have drugged down your throat like that. The fact is, I'm a bit desperate, really. This is my 4th time. How about you?
Well, it's my first time, actually, and I'm finding it a bit nerve-wracking. Don't think I've quite got the hang of it yet.
Well, I'm only your 3rd person that you've met. I've met 33. I'm very well used to the disappointment.
That doesn't fill me full of confidence. I take it you haven't found anybody to your liking on your previous 3 sessions?
Oh, I found quite a few to my liking. Trouble is, none of them were found. I've got none of those thought I was worth their liking. Or the couple that did weren't on my list. And they were old enough to be my father. I'm 55.
Oh, and have you always been on your own?
Oh no, not always. I was married for 15 years.
Oh, I see. So did he...
Die? No, he didn't. He left me for somebody else 5 years ago. Turned out I wasn't on his list of likes either.
So I suppose the other woman is quite a lot different from you then?
Could say that. Couldn't have been more different, actually. It was a case of the other man.
Oh dear. That must have been a bit of a shock. Mind you, in some ways, I suppose it must be better than if it had been another woman.
I don't see how.
Well, at least you know it's not your fault. He wasn't comparing like for like and finding you wanting, was he? I mean, it might have been more insulting if he found another woman more attractive than you. But it turned out he was into men, so there's nothing you could have done about that.
I never thought about it like that. I just assumed it was my fault.
Well, it obviously wasn't.
No, suppose not. If you put it like that. But what I've never been able to work out is why marry me in the first place if he was into men, as it were? You must have known, surely. But in 15 years he never showed the slightest sign of it. I mean, you know, shared a bed all those years, if you know what I mean.
I think quite a few men try to hide their feelings and deny them and marry, hoping it'll go away. I mean, look at Oscar Wilde, he was respectably married.
I suppose so. Anyway, I got custody of the cats. Yes, I've got 5 of them.
That's nice.
Yes, I like cats. You can trust cats. They don't let you down. You know where you are with cats.
Right.
They've all got their own personalities, you know. Mimsy, she's the ginger one. She loves to rub herself up against your legs as soon as she walks into the room. Only me, mind you. She's not so keen on strangers. Now, Jaffa, now she's entirely different. He's orange, as his name suggests. And he's a bit aloof. Even with me, he keeps well out of the way of the other cats. And if they get too near, he lets them know in no uncertain terms that he just likes to be left alone. Yeah, proper little Greta Garbo is Jaffa. Do you like cats?
Well, I had one when I was a boy, but not since. Nothing against them, you understand? I'm just not keen enough to take the responsibility of looking after one.
Oh, you'd change your mind if you met my youngest. A year old now, and a little bundle of mischief. She's grey, mostly light grey, but with a mixture of other shades. I call her 50, you know, after the book.
Do you have any children?
No, just cats.
Do you work?
Oh yes, I'm a receptionist at James and Robinson's, the vets.
You must see a lot of cats there.
Yes, and dogs, of course, but I'm not so keen on those. Not that I have anything against them, mind you. They just don't have what it takes. They don't have the same personalities as cats. And you have to take them for walks in the rain and clear up their doings. Oh, cats are much more independent. They go out by themselves and they bury their doings.
Yeah, usually in my garden. Dogs are more useful, though, aren't they?
How do you mean?
Well, cats don't bark to warn you of intruders, do they? I mean, firms don't employ cats to guard their property, do they?
I suppose not.
And you don't see many guide cats for the blind. And if you were buried in an avalanche, they wouldn't send a cat with a barrel of brandy.
I think it's a myth about St Bernards carrying barrels of brandy around their necks. I heard that from Stephen Fry on IQ, or even QI. And anyway, we don't get many avalanche in trouble, do we? And you can't sit at a St Bernard on your knee and stroke it while you're watching his dentist, now can you?
Can't argue with that.
And cats don't bite postmen, do they?
I must admit I've never heard of a case. But you don't see sniffer cats searching for drugs at Gatwick, and the police don't use cat handlers to catch criminals.
Suppose not. Ah, but you've never heard of cats having to be put down because they are a danger to the public.
Shall we call it a draw?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't get so worked up, but my cats are very important to me, you see. They're all I've got.
I understand. I didn't mean to upset you. Once I get going, I can't resist a good debate. Well, now time's up. It's been nice meeting you, Angela, and good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.